All right, watercolor on canvas. I start with just a wash of plain water first, just to kind of prep the canvas. Putting watercolor on canvas is so much different than watercolor on paper. You really have to be aware of those differences. And one of them is just dealing with the layering of color. So I kind of just drop my color down, let it spread, do its own thing, and add in more when I need it. You can see here I'm just kind of, just going over and over a little bit while the surface is still very damp. Throwing on some salt for texture. I think we dried there, and now I'm putting another coat down. Putting the layers, you really have to make sure that either the surface is still quite damp or very, very dry before you put more layers down. It's very easy to pick the color back up that you've already put down because it doesn't soak into the canvas like it does to paper. Anyway, so moving on to the wings, same thing. I just prepped with a little bit of water. Now just laying down all that color and kind of letting it spread. I throw in salt every once in a while for some texture. And I do use a straw, I think, coming up. There we go. I start using a straw to just kind of move the water around and help it to, fill in the places that I want it to go. Let's see, I must have gone dry. Now I put, I prep the surface again with a solid coat of plain water just to kind of, get it ready to lay in some more color on top because you don't want to do any scrubbing or rubbing too hard where you've already put paint or it will pick it right back up. Again, another session of drying and putting more plain water down. And then, of course, just I'm outlining with the black here. I'll do several coats of the black throughout very carefully because, again, you can pick that color up very easily that you've already put down. But as any of you know who do watercolor, black does not like to go on very black. So it'll dry very, much lighter and very flat. So I'll go through and put several layers of the black as I do this painting. And let's see, what am I going to be doing next? I start in with a little bit more detail on the wings, and just I think I'm probably using a liner brush and just pulling those little, veins and lines throughout the wings there. Oh, it looks like at some point I must have missed it. I just put some splatters down. You can see them just with some of the darker blues that I'd used. I splattered down on the background. There's another layer of black there. And here I'm just continuing to put layers down on the wings, just a little bit at a time, building up the color very delicately and until I get the sort of intensity that I want. Now I'm putting in some of the extra intense colors throughout. And I didn't prime it with, or prep it with water, plain water first on this. I wanted a little bit more stronger color with this kind of really beautiful magenta purple. And so I put the color down straight onto the dry canvas and then probably just took up some extra water and spread it around a little bit just to get, to keep some of that really intense color from that beautiful purple. And you can see here some of the water or the color is overlapping into my black, and I don't want it, so I'm trying to correct that with my brush and paper towel. Throw some more salt in for texture. Still keeping that. Once it's wet, it really just keeps sort of seeping over into the other side. So you have to keep on it with a paper towel, drying. And I don't know if I show it, but I think I do go over with another coat of black on that outline, just to, at the very end, just to kind of cover all those little spots where the leakage went over. Anyway, putting down more intense color. Watercolor dries very light, so I always go back in and put more intensity in. And I think on this part I went straight in with the color too. I didn't pre-wet it, just to keep some of that intensity of the color. And you can see right about here, I'm putting in these like really dark dots of color, and it looks kind of odd. It's like, oh my gosh. But watercolor on canvas spreads and just, sort of diffuses into the texture of the canvas so much that you can see it's already starting to spread now. So putting those big dark spots in wasn't as alarming in the end as it looks when I first put them down. And it looks like I'm dropping some last little bits of salt in for some texture. And I think, yeah, here I'm using a toothpick to just drop in little tiny drops of alcohol, just for that added sort of texture in there. You can see the little spots that it's making. I really like the effect of putting alcohol on there. Anyway, that's it. I hope that you like it. Let me know if you have any questions, and make sure to like and subscribe. See you soon.